The hierarchy in Ballygunner started thinking big. I started talking about winning All-Ireland clubs before we ever won when we weren't even winning championships in Waterford. And they built this, a community. They built fabulous facilities in the club, you know what I mean? And they put a lot of effort into the juveniles and got the structures right. And that's where this has come from. This hasn't happened in the last 3 years. This has been building for a long, long number of years. I'm so happy for the lads. I'm so happy for the club. I'm so happy for the supporters. And it's amazing, how we got out there today, how we stuck with it. We probably Ballyhale. That's probably what happened. That late goal, they were doing it all year. You know what I mean? But that takes belief, and it takes, and you see Harry Ruddle, who'd played, I'd say, every game in the club championship, local club championship, and didn't probably play 15-20 minutes since then. And for him to have the bravery to take that ball on, to run through the centre defence and finish like that is, phenomenal from a guy like him. He's brought into that cauldron with maybe 10 minutes to go. I'm so proud of the lads. They were a fabulous, fabulous bunch of guys. They'd have each other's back 100%. They're like a band of brothers. Family of brothers really is what they are, and they work hard. They stay together, back each other up, and that's what's got us here.
How much of a difference has Desi Hutchinson made, Darragh, since he arrived at this club 3 years ago?
Go on, Darragh.
Listen, look, Desi came back. He's phenomenal. He was back in around maybe 3 years ago when we played Ballyhale, but he's a professional athlete playing hurling. That's what he is, and he was groomed as a professional athlete. And you look at his movement, you look at his skill. But when he came back, he came back into the group straight away. I remember meeting him inside, just not too far away from the office, and I said, Desi, what's the story? He said, Darragh, look, he said, I'm thinking about going in with the footballers. I don't mind if you go in with the footballers, but the reality of it is I want you up in the field every night training. You won't do the physical training, but you do the hurling, because you need to, do the hurling, because that's what you're going to be missing here. And I said, I've no doubt in 6 or 8 months' time you're not going to be playing with the Waterford footballers, you're going to be playing with the Waterford hurlers. Because that's how good you are. That's what he done. He came training every night. You know what I mean? Desi is a phenomenal hurler, but he's a phenomenal human being as well, and his family are a real strong family that, back each other up and back all of us up, and that's what we have. And please God, we've more lads coming that, like Desi Hutchinson. You know what I mean? Number of, I don't know how many juvenile competitions we won in Waterford this year, but we won an awful lot of them. We didn't win all of them. But look, people might say that domination of Waterford hurling is bad. I'm sick to me teeth of saying that it's good for Waterford hurling, and Waterford hurling should get a bounce from this, because we are probably better in Waterford than we actually think we are. I'd like to think that we take confidence out of this and we drive on.
Philip, what was your reaction when Harry Ruddle shot hit the net?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. We couldn't see it there. A few of us were only chatting about it there. We couldn't see the ball, and the lads just turned away, and then to see James Owens going down and saying it's up, that's, you dream about this. There's probably winning a club All-Ireland and winning a county All-Ireland. It's literally the stuff you dream of when you're 5-6 years of age. I remember with Porrick back, Darragh's living in the same house now, hitting the ball off the wall, and you literally do dream of stuff like this. But it's a special feeling. We're so lucky to come from a place like Ballygunner, to be in a club like Ballygunner where everyone's rowing in the same direction, and to see what it means to the people in the stands there. It's just a special feeling, and we're going to enjoy this so much because we've put so much effort into it. For years we came out in Munster Championship games beaten, people questioned us, saying that we couldn't do it on the big stage and that kind of thing, and we knew we could. We believed, we always believed, and every single year we came back, we worked harder and harder. We're lucky to have men like Darragh above us who've raised the standards. But it's just the dressing room, it's such a tight group. I've been involved with a lot of teams who are very, very close, but it's different than anything I've ever experienced. There's literally every single person on the panel, everyone on the background team, we do anything for each other. And sometimes when you put in so much work, you get a stroke of luck and you get what you deserve at the end of the day. I think that's probably what happened today. We worked so hard for this. We literally it became an obsession, probably without saying it openly, but each one of us individually put so much of it into it. And the thoughts of going back to Ballygunner with the All-Ireland Club trophy tonight it's just unbelievable. It's something that you dream of, as I said.
Congratulations, Philip. I think if anybody deserved to lead the team, I think you did, after all the years you've given to it. Talk me through the last 3 minutes of that match. Shamrocks were leading the game. Did you in your own heart think it was gone, or was there something in this team you said they'll keep going until they dig out something?
I think we were prepared for that. You hang into it. There's a lot of people, even former managers of Ballygunner. I remember Dennis Welsh texted me during the week, a great man, he would have worked with Darragh there, and he said sometimes people text you something and it strikes a chord with you, and he said hang in there, stay in there. I think that's all you can do. We spoke at half time about just it's so hard to get to an All-Ireland final, and just don't regret the 30 minutes. If we were beaten and we emptied ourselves, fair enough, we come right away with our heads held high. But look, we stuck in. But when you see the young lads there, like, you see the likes of Paddy Levy and Ronan Power and Kevin and Tig, like, they're 19, 20 years of age, those lads. The way they step up and drove the team on, like when the game is in the melting pot, they've huge futures ahead. But just Darragh referred to there, it's not even the hurling side of things. Like, it's like with Desi, it's just how good the lads are and how well grounded they are and how much Ballygunner means to them and how much Waterford means to them. As Darragh said, like, this will hopefully, please God, drive Waterford on again.
Now, Europe being a stalwart for Waterford for many years, what will this mean for Waterford inter-county hurling? Darragh has alluded to it as well, and James O'Connor, a great Waterford man, he feels this could give Waterford inter-county hurling a bounce. Would you agree?
Hopefully it will. Do you know what I mean? But I think the last thing we need to do in Waterford is build up our chances and that kind of stuff. It's an ultra competitive championship, and there's obviously a few lads inside there might be a few more involved, and for some people, even I think in Waterford sometimes over the years we might have came to Croke Park and we were nearly too used to losing that kind of, we were up and down, as James said, inside there. But look, I think the whole of Waterford, like, everyone just needs to get behind the team, and keep driving. There's obviously a lot of teams there who are excellent, and keep driving the lads on and not blowing us up and not kind of making us out to be anything that we're not, because we're at our best in Waterford and we're working hard, and we're kind of the underdog tag, and I think we need to keep that and not blow the lads up too much.
Darragh, were you worried about the first half when you dominated things but it wasn't being shown on the scoreboard?
Yeah, and even in the second half we weren't probably as clinical as probably would have been in other games, and that was a huge concern, you know what I mean? But and you look back at it, I'd say if we lost the game we would have been obviously we would have been sickened, but I think we would have looked and said and analysed and said, you know what, we had enough chances to win it, What was really, really pleasing about it was when we went 6 points down. I think they got the goal. Did you go 6 up? I think 5 or 6, 5. And we brought it back. We bring it back level, brought it back to 1, and they kicked on again. But yeah, look, we would have. I don't know what the wide count was, but I'd say we probably more wides than what they had. We probably weren't as clinical, and some of the scores we'd normally take, we didn't take. Whether that was the occasion or what, I'm not quite sure. The pressure, possibly the pressure we were put under. But yeah, if you look back then, we hadn't got over the line. We might have looked and said, why, Jesus, how do we, kind of leave that behind us, But Philip mentioned a couple of people earlier, like the likes of Dennis Welsh and people like that had a huge part to play in this story, really. And like, there's a guy in that group with us, David Franks, who's one of these lads' best friends. He came to us 5 years ago. There's nobody who's done any more than he has in getting us to where we are. He's a phenomenal guy, a phenomenal friend of the lads. He's a phenomenal friend of the clubs, and he's a phenomenal friend of mine. And he's a real decent human being and a phenomenal coach, and I don't think his input into this should ever go understated, because it's been phenomenal, to be honest with you. And how he stuck with us. I took up the job 3 years ago after being beaten by Ballyhale, and I met with David, and I knew in December the likelihood was that Fergal wasn't going to take up the role again after whether win, lose or draw that All Ireland. And the chairman came to me. I was getting involved with Waterford Minors, and the chairman came to me and said, Darragh, you're going to have to do this. And I said, look, I don't need to do it, and I don't particularly want to do it. Get Fergal to stay on, but look, they didn't. And I remember meeting David Franks down in the club, and I said, David, I need you to stay with us. The rest of the lads have stepped away. And he said, Darragh, when I came to Ballygunner, he said, there weren't too many people ringing me and asking to get involved. He said, and the last thing I'm going to do, he said, is leave Ballygunner when I think they need me most. And that's a testament to the character. That year I probably asked 5 or 6 lads to get involved with selectors, and for various reasons they couldn't get involved with us. We were in the Munster final against Bursley. It was just myself and David, and maybe Shawnee O'Donnell in the stand. It's a very, very lonely place. But David Franks is a phenomenal guy, and I think, should never go understated what the impact he's had on this group of players. Same way as Dennis Welsh, go back Fergal Hartley. We've been really, really lucky in Ballygunner. Martin Fogarty back in the day, the first year I think he was with Fergal. Phenomenal guys. We've been really, really lucky that we've had really, really good guys building into what we've done today. And that's what's happened. It's happened over a long number of years. And you know what? I think we can actually get better. I think we can improve. I think these guys will be hungrier, and I think they'll go again. You know what I mean? But look, today is for, dreaming. We've dreamt and we're there. And it's amazing feeling. That's an absolutely amazing feeling.
Philip, sorry, can I just ask, because this man is too modest, what does he bring to the table then as a manager?
Look, I've been involved with Darragh. I think he said to me one Christmas there, I don't know when it was, 5-6 years ago, and he said, we're thinking about getting involved with the minors. He said, will you do it with me? And I said, yeah, of course. Straight away we were excited by it, I think. And I think the first year, like you see, the lads were well beaten. I think under 16 they lost by 10 goals in one game, And it was a great job to go into because the lads were kind of, you know, they were well beaten the previous year or two.
And much pressure.
Harry Ruddle was actually one of the lads on the team, like, and we've worked with the lads, like, there's probably 6 or 7 of them maybe finished on the field today. But like, one thing Darragh does is, like, he's got the most out of every single person in the whole group, players, backroom staff, everything. He's went to look for the best in every single facet of the game. He manages everything, like, and it's the easiest thing in the world as a player when Ballygunner at the moment, because everything is just done for you. You know what I mean? And he's the man at the top, and he drives that. And like, he's my uncle too. But to be sitting here like in Croke Park, I can't believe we've actually done it, because this was a burning obsession for so many years. I remember even like Darragh's father, my grandfather, for years, like every single Paddy's Day, we might be down in Blenheim in the home house, and he'd say we'll be there someday. And he was kind of instilling that into the likes of me and Porg and Shane and the other lads in there. And like, he's looking down at us now. You know, he passed away a few years ago, but my God, like, he's smiling down at us tonight, and I can't believe it, lads, to be honest.
Philip, Barry mentioned a good few of the longer serving players that kind of were there for the finals. You're obviously very aware of those guys, the kind of the effort that they put in. Obviously didn't get
unbelievable. Like, those lads were a soldier for years, like, and I think it's literally like they will feel this, so like they will enjoy this so much because they know exactly what went into it. You know, they, like the likes of Brian and David and Shane Welsh, Wayne, JJ, like I could go on, Harley, there's so many more people too. You seen the likes of Paddy Cook there in the stand after the match, and he's tears in his eyes, like lads who are best friends. Like, we're just lucky that there's such a close group of lads. There's probably 3 or 4 age groups that have combined. There's probably brothers within each of the groups, and we've just naturally come together over the years. But yeah, like, there's so many people who are going to get so much enjoyment from this. Like, it's crazy, really. I say it still hasn't sunk in. I can't believe we're sitting here, lads.
All right, lads. Thanks very much.
Thanks a million, lads.
Thanks, lads.
Has Harry ever got a goal for the seniors before?
Got one against Abbey side this year.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Cheers.